All right, today I have my little fur baby with me for this video. So I'm going to talk about everyone asking me about traffic before they move to the Queen City. So let's get right into it. So, of course, Charlotte is not in LA or Atlanta or Chicago, but day to day traffic, you can't always just plan on maybe a minute per mile estimate. So, I always recommend using Google Maps for everything. So, traffic patterns during peak times, maybe rush hour, those can certainly be higher traffic. I usually tell people when they're moving here, look at the miles and multiply it by 2. So usually if you are going 10 miles, it's going to take you about 20 minutes. So the morning rush hours to watch out for are that 7 to 9 a.m. time frame, maybe evening rush hours, maybe 4:30 to 6:30. And it can stretch later depending on different areas. So the biggest congestion are going to be the highways. So I-77, I-85, I-485 loop that goes around the city of Charlotte. Those are going to be a little more congested. And also, we do have the fast pass lanes or the express lanes, and you're going to pay a pretty penny for them during rush hour times. But a little fun fact is that when they are on weekend hours and you have, or I guess not always weekend, but the HOV, so the high occupancy vehicle lane, if you have more than 3 people in your vehicle and you swap that little or switch the easy pass to HOV, then you don't need to pay. So traveling in the fast or express lane is free during that time. That's certainly a fun fact that pays off for my family when we're traveling throughout the weekends. So South Charlotte traffic builds, but is more spread out. So Fridays, game days, maybe events uptown, you could have some unpredictable spikes if there are some events or festivals going on. Traffic isn't a constant gridlock, it's very time dependent. So those that are relocating here from bigger cities feel like the traffic is typically very manageable and very normal. Those that are coming from small towns feel it's a big adjustment to deal with the traffic, as GPS estimates are usually best case scenario, not always rush hour reality. So if you choose to partake in uptown living, there's maybe a short or no commute if you work nearby. So walkability, you have access to the light rail. Of course, your trade-off is maybe a higher cost for a smaller space, but there's also inner ring neighborhoods. So those that are close to the city, like South End, Noda, Plaza Midwood, and others. At that point, you're balancing your lifestyle with maybe shorter commute options. And it's popular a lot of times with those younger professionals. And then there's the suburbs. So Ballantyne, Huntersville, Matthews, Concord, there's more space in those suburbs. Sometimes better value, maybe longer, more car dependent commutes, of course. But where you live will shape your daily rhythm more than anything. Where you live, where you need to go. If you have a commute for work, if you're looking for grocery stores or restaurants nearby, and people get around primarily driving throughout the city. So most residents do rely on cars. And like I said earlier, the major highways are I-77, I-85, I-485, I-277. And then keep in mind, there's also the light rail. So the Lynx Blue Line runs north and south through the city. And it's great for commuters living along the corridor like South End, University area. It's a limited reach, so it doesn't cover everywhere, but it may be something for you to keep in mind that would be part of your house hunting journey. There is a Charlotte area bus transit system too. So it's expanding. It's still not maybe the primary choice for most, but it works better for specific routes than general use. There's, of course, rideshare, so Uber, Lyft, readily available in most areas around town. But that's great for going uptown, which is what we call our downtown, for running to the airport, pickup, drop off, events in uptown, etc. So a few rules we like to tell people: live as close as possible to where you work if you are trying to avoid traffic. Rule number 2, avoid crossing major congestion corridors. So daily, like I-77. If you work uptown, look at South End, maybe Dilworth, Plaza Midwood, Noda. If you work in South Charlotte, maybe Ballantyne or Pineville can make more sense. If you work remote, you have flexibility. So focus on your lifestyle instead and what's nearby. A pro tip, test drive your commute during rush hour times before you fully commit, so you know what traffic is going to look like and there are no surprises or minimal. Also, you do have lifestyle trade-offs, so time versus cost and convenience. So closer to the city, you might have a higher cost, but less commute stress. You might have more lifestyle convenience. And then farther out, you're going to have more house for your money, probably longer commute times, more planning required. You can't maximize all three, time, cost, and convenience. You always trade up one or the other. But figure out what's best for you, what's best for your family or your lifestyle. And we're always here to help at Grand Allure Home Group. We hope you have a grand day.